Hey everybody, this is Chuck Myntti in DaNang. How are you? I've put together 11 points of sanity, 11 points of being here. It's taken me, 41 months. I've been here 41 months. And I've had these rattling around in my head, and I finally assembled them into this list. It's called Surviving DaNang, 11 Points to Keep You Sane While Being Here. Before we start, please subscribe. Please like it. Please share my channel with your friends. Please share my channel with your friends. If you're getting anything out of my channel, please share it with your friends. I want to grow this. I've been doing this for a long time and I still haven't hit 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please move to DaNang. I have a lot of people telling me they moved here because of me. So I'm helping somebody. Anyway, okay. So surviving DaNang. 11 points to help you stay sane while being here. Number 1, water. Let's talk about the water. To drink the water here is not to die. I put toothpaste on a dry brush my teeth, rinse it off under the tap, but also grab a handful of water to rinse my mouth out 3 times. When I first got here, I was totally paranoid about the water. The main concern isn't biological agents. There aren't any superbacteria flowing through your pipes. The culprit would be metals from old pipes, and if you want to install a filter system under your sink, then you can drink it. Unfiltered, it just tastes bad. But I buy 6-liter bottles 2 at a time and haul them to my apartment. I have 4 1.5-liter bottles and a funnel, so I empty the 6-liter bottle into the smaller bottles just for easier handling. And that's kind of fun to do anyway. I mean, don't be super paranoid about it. If you get a little in your mouth, you're not going to die. I wouldn't drink it though. My friend Swan was drinking it and I said, no. I tasted her water and it was like, no, drink bottled water. It was just, ugh. It just tasted bad. So I redirected her and she's been drinking bottled water since. Point number 2, parasites. There is a drug here called mebendazole, which kills roundworms, threadworms, whipworms, hookworms, and pinworms. I take it once every couple of months. If I get a migrating larvae infection under my skin, then I take it for 3 days in a row, and that always works. 1 pill a day, 500 milligrams. Yes, we get infected from dirty greens, from gutter water. If you get splashed in the street from standing water or on the sidewalk from a loose tile, find a bathroom with a butt hose and rinse it off as fast as you can. Don't forget about it. Because if you do, in a day or 2, little crusty scabs start forming on your skin. Something is going for a slow stroll under your skin. Eek! Okay, number 3. Meds. The pharmacies here are amazing. Some are better than others. I have discovered that if I stick to the competent neighborhood pharmacy, they are worth their weight in gold. In fact, I'm returning to the pharmacy that I established a relationship with when I was here before in a completely different part of town. So they're really good. I have learned to avoid the big chains for the most part. Under your own power, discover what the generic names are for your meds. As an example, if you ask for Lipitor, you will pay for Lipitor. If you ask for atorvastatin, you will pay far, far less. That's just as an example. So do your research and you'll save a lot of money. Okay, labs. Number 4, labs. I've talked about this before, but let me cover it again. I love the retail labs here. You can walk in, get your blood drawn, and have results in your email inbox in the evening. They hand you a menu, and you can select the things you want to test. When I first came back, I had a broad spectrum of tests done. It cost me about $60. Since then, I have had smaller subsets of tests performed, which include liver and kidney functions, sugar, insulin, etc. I also bought a wrist cuff to check my BP once in a while. I got that from my pharmacist. Okay, number 5, healthcare. Other than eating cleanly, I am vegan, not drinking or smoking, walking a lot, and actually I could walk more, and living where the air is clean. I suspect I will live a long life. Let's talk about health insurance. I went shopping for health insurance, and for someone my age, it's really expensive. The feeling about it in the community is very mixed. I have heard of people who have had a need for it and had no issues from their insurance provider. And I have heard of people telling horror stories of denials and neglect from their provider. After discussing it with a few people, the consensus is just to have a fund. Instead of paying, in my case, $140 a month to an insurance provider, I just save it into my own medical fund / savings account. I am saving $230-ish a month into my savings fund for emergencies, of which emergencies may also include having to vamoose because of war or political environment or pandemic, etc., which you can't use your insurance for. The insurance horror stories originated from people being covered by all names and brands of insurance, so it's not just one bad actor out there. You know, insurance is just such a scam. Such a scam. Okay, number 6. Anger and road rage. It happens. This is not America or other places where people rage about things like getting cut off. Expect to get cut off. Expect to be completely invisible. Drive like you are invisible. The thing that pisses me off the most is a high beam coming at me. I head toward it usually and flash my high lows, and it has no effect. The thing we need to understand is that there is little to no training on how a motorbike operates. The idea that a moto even has low beam and high beam, and that there are rules for how to properly drive through the streets at night, just haven't occurred to anybody. I was going to say 50%, but really it's anybody. Big truck drivers who are trained respond to flashing, but no one else has in the 38 months I've been driving here. They drive around ignorantly, blinding people with high beams on. Here is where the 50% part comes in, and I'm going to have to rethink this a little bit here, this little statistic. Only about half of the people riding at night actually have any headlights on. The only way you can see them is because they are blocking the headlight behind them. Rage, rage, rage. It only hurts you. You won't change a soul. Saving face here means not getting angry. They just smile at you. They don't get angry. If they do, they don't show it. It's a giant cultural no-no to lose face here. Last night I was on my bike riding around in the dark, or after sunset, and I had my headlights on, and I noticed that always in front of me, coming or going, there's somebody with no lights on. Always. Either the taillight's out or just riding with no lights on. Coming toward me, no lights on. You know, the only way you can see them is them blocking the headlight behind them. So you have to be really careful. Really, really careful. And I was trying to turn left across one of the 3-lane highways, and I couldn't. I realized that there were way too many people riding without their headlights for me to get an accurate read on the traffic coming to the left, coming from my left, and I wanted to turn left across the highway, and I just said no, and I turned right and figured it out a different way. So that's a real issue. Okay, number 7, sober riding. This needs to be said. I am alive because I don't drink. Every day I deal with split-second decisions which save my life. Every day I am confronted at least 5 times while on my moto with something that requires a reaction that if slowed by alcohol would have killed me or someone else. Cars don't see or care about motorbikes. Those evil, freaking Ford Transit vans are even worse. You know, the kind with 13 seats? I have been sideswiped by one. The drivers clear the track in front of them with their horns and barrel through. People turn left from the right lane and turn right from the left lane. There are street lights, red, yellow, green street lights, which really act only as guidelines, but there are no stop signs anywhere. It's all about barreling through. Actually, it's all about flow and the mindset around flow. Keep it going, don't stop, just keep going. When I was here before, I saw 4 dead bodies on the street. I haven't seen any since October when I returned to DaNang, thank God. Yeah, dead bodies are not fun. Number 8, accident potential and aftermath. I drive defensively. I am not slow or fast. I pass people and I get past. My real fear is getting hit from behind by a drunk hauling ass through traffic. Often I will be cruising along and some total dumb shit will be weaving through traffic going way faster than anyone else. They don't live long. There is a real potential for accidents. I hit a dog and went flying. I was heading for the dog's butt as it walked across, and if it kept going, I would have missed it. But the owner called it and it did an about face and boom, I hit it and my passenger and I went flying. I landed on my left forearm and side. My passenger landed on top of me. Everybody came out to help pick us up. I never saw the dog again. It happened in a split second. My left forearm and left leg were all skinned up. My phone was in my left front pocket and it got smashed. I was wearing a helmet, but my head never came close to the ground. So point 8A, had this been worse, such as a collision with another motorbike or hitting someone carrying something sharp, and I see this all the time, people carrying thin-walled square metal tubing on their motos, just like a knight carrying a jousting lance or other sharp things, sheet metal. Should I hit these or get hit by something like this? Your chances of survival are based on a few things. First of all, don't assume anybody in Vietnam has received first aid training or will know what to do if you just had a leg smashed and you are bleeding out onto the street and you're slipping into shock. Or you just got run through by square metal tubing like an inch square biopsy plunger. Or assume an ambulance will arrive in time. If you break a leg and aren't bleeding to death, hail a cab and head to the emergency room. Don't wait for an ambulance. Be aware of how crazy this can get. Drive super defensively and absolutely no alcohol on a motorbike. Okay, number 9. That was a cherry spot, wasn't it? Number 9, getting cocky. So this is something I have to really be worried about or keep catching myself on. I am really glad to be writing this. I have 38 months of writing experience here, and I have noticed just recently that I am taking bigger risks and closing tighter gaps on my moto, and I need to stop doing this shit or I'm going to get killed. I need to slow down and not assume anybody is going to give an inch. With that said, there is a real dance out there, a really high-level, highly timed choreography on the streets. You really see it at four-way intersections and at the big roundabouts, so you cannot escape the need to be on your absolute A-game while out riding. Yeah, be careful. Be careful. But you also got to participate in the act of riding, you know? You can't just, like, slink down the shoulder, because you'll never get anywhere. Number 10, feeling superior. Do I really feel superior? No, not really. I mean, but this is the point that I want to make. Feeling superior, this point is about our own arrogance when dealing with people we come across while traveling, and I'm not just talking about Vietnam, I'm talking about everywhere. I met some friends at a cafe. I was chatting with a friend of a friend who I had never met before. I asked what he did for a living. His English was great. He told me he was a lecturer in civil engineering. I asked him if he had a graduate degree, and he responded with doctorate in civil engineering. We talked about school and his university. My point is, it is to our disadvantage to assume anyone around us is a hillbilly or a hick or poorly educated because they come out of the Vietnamese school system or some other school system which we consider third world or something like that. Another time, I was walking through Koreatown and a guy was standing next to a bus. He smiled at me and asked me where I was from. We had a nice chat. It turns out he was a PhD in economics and a former lecturer who had purchased a nice bus and was hauling tourists around because it paid so good. The interactions I have had with almost everyone here have been informative and pleasant. So make friends. You know, people are wonderful. For the most part, people are wonderful. I have this dichotomy running through my brain. I hate everybody and I love everybody. You know, we're all like that, I suspect. Okay, number 11, mosquitoes. The basic rule for mosquitoes is that they hunt at dawn and dusk. The pregnant females do. In the papers I have read about them, they always talk about the pregnant females and never the males. Curious. A few points here to keep in mind. Always have repellent lotion or spray on hand. This is why I wear cargo shorts so I can carry it. They begin to hunt an hour before sunset and hunt until an hour after sunset. This is the time We find ourselves at restaurants and we get feasted on while we are feasting. Apply the repellent liberally so you can relax and enjoy your meal. If you are up that early, the same goes for sunrise. Okay, so furthermore about mosquitoes, point 11a. I roll a towel up and push it against the bottom of my apartment door at the hallway. It keeps them from coming in. All of my other windows and doors seal well. I bought a zapper light and keep it on when I am home. It works well. It's near where I work. It draws bugs away from my bedroom at night when everywhere else is dark. I also keep a fan on me in my bed while I am sleeping. It obliterates the carbon dioxide cloud that forms around my face from exhaling. Bugs can see CO2 and it draws them in. The Viets hang mosquito netting around their beds at night. I just consider my whole apartment to be an anti-mosquito zone. During the day, I leave my windows and balcony door open. My zapper light is on, watching over me, but the danger time is at dusk and dawn. Around 4:45 in the afternoon, I seal it up and keep it sealed up. So yeah, dawn and dusk, that's when they start to hunt, and they come out in force, and it can be miserable. Some people I know have no problem with mosquitoes at all. They're just not mosquito food, but I am like target number one, and I get eaten alive quickly if I'm not protected, if I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I always carry a spray or a lotion, mosquito repellent. Okay, before I started to record this, I was reminded about noise. My balcony door has been open all afternoon as I have written this. Various dogs are barking, one loud one constantly. I'm about to go have a screaming chat with its owner. And I took a break and rolled up to Loving Vegan for a late lunch. As I sat there eating, somebody started honking out front, and I'm 25 feet from the road. There is a plastic rain sheet between me and the honking car. I'm about to crack wide open from noise. I didn't think it took too much of a toll on me until that car honked. And yes, I have been meditating more and more. Yes, I can close windows and doors and turn on fans for a small amount of white noise and get super quiet. And little foamy earplugs are God's gift to quiet. But normally, I mean, that was just one day that noise got to me. Normally, I don't even really hear it. I've, had kids. I've had kids and they get noisy as hell, so you learn to shut it out. Okay, so that was what? 11 points, plus a bonus on noise. Okay, I hope you all have enjoyed this, have learned a little bit, have had your expectations clarified a bit. Yes, hugs and kisses to everybody. See you next time. Subscribe. I would love to read your comments. Thanks, everybody. DaNang awaits. Southeast Asia awaits. Okay, see ya.